Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be doing something slightly different with the break in the Premier League for the international break, meaning I get a chance to look at England's national team. Hopefully England's defence will be better than some of the defending we saw at the weekend, with Manchester United and Liverpool both conceding 6 and 7 goals, so hopefully the English defenders can do a little bit better than that. We have 3 games over the international break, which is quite a busy break for any stretch of the imagination. We have Wales in a friendly on Thursday, as well as Belgium and Denmark in the Nations League as well. Last time out, England weren't very good. They weren't very impressive and they didn't look at the races like they usually do. They beat Iceland 1-0 and drew 0-0 with Denmark. And in the Denmark game, really struggled to create chances in the first half. They were unlucky as Harry Kane had one cleared off the line in the end of the game, but still an England side as good as ours should be doing much better than scoring 1 goal across 2 games. Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden and Mason Greenwood all drop out of this squad, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Reece James and Bukayo Saka are both part of the squad this time out. All of those, it will be their debuts for them as well. The England squad as always looks pretty strong on paper, but there is a noticeable lack of left-footed players once again. Last time we didn't take a single left-back with us, but fortunately the form and the return from injury of Ben Chilwell has meant we've at least got a left-back to take with us this time, instead of the plethora of right-backs which we usually have. Of course, the core to the squad is very similar, and Gareth Southgate likes to do this to keep the consistency within the squad and keep the same players for the most part, hence why there's only 2 or 3 changes to this Nations League and friendly in comparison to the last set of Nations League games. The first player I have chosen in this week's Players to Watch category is Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford has had a good start in terms of his team, Everton being on top of the Premier League. However, his personal performances have not been great. Pickford is prone to a mistake, and he's been lucky in that Everton have been scoring lots of goals this season, and so the mistakes haven't really mattered. However, in this England squad, goals aren't as easy to come by as we saw in the last 2 games, and that could really affect the positivity and the ability of this England squad. I don't think Dean Henderson will be starting for England despite being in the squad, because he's not played a game yet this season, thanks to David De Gea's fine form. Well, I say fine form, he conceded 6 against Spurs, so you know what I mean. He's the first choice goalkeeper for Manchester United. I think we're more likely to see Nick Pope start in front of Jordan Pickford, as he's been getting regular game time. However, Gareth Southgate, unlike the rest of England, tends to choose Jordan Pickford as his first choice keeper, which isn't a problem because Pickford has played well. He did fantastically at the World Cup and was one of the star players for England there, but recently Pickford hasn't been as good as what we're used to him being, and I'll be intrigued to see how he performs in the upcoming games, especially the one against Belgium, where mistakes will cost us the game. The second player I have chosen to watch is Declan Rice. Declan Rice has been really good so far this season. In the 2 games which West Ham have won, Declan Rice has been a pivotal part of the success in that team. As we saw at the weekend against Leicester, he knows how to drive the ball forward, and he can also start attacks from the holding midfield, and I think that will be really important in this England setup. Declan Rice is expected to be the player who takes over from Jordan Henderson when Jordan Henderson eventually retires. And I think, of course, that is a lot of pressure. Henderson has been fantastic for Liverpool. He's been a really consistent player. Declan Rice needs to find that consistency in this England squad. We know Gareth Southgate likes to use Eric Dyer and likes to use Jordan Henderson, and I think it'll be interesting to see if he uses all 3 in the holding midfield role during this international break. Having 3 games in this international break allows for a lot of changes, and especially for the friendly, he can get a few different players into the squad who you wouldn't necessarily put into competitive matches such as the Euros and the Nations League. Declan Rice is always breaking up the play and is able to start attacks from holding midfield. Like I say, I think that's going to be important in this England setup, especially without Sterling and potentially without Kane in the Wales game. I think that's going to be important in order to create chances from different parts of the pitch, and Declan Rice can just be that person who will start an attack and feed the more creative players up the pitch. The final player I have chosen this week is Jadon Sancho. With Raheem Sterling injured and not in the squad, being replaced by Reece James, Jadon Sancho will be vitally important to the squad. He is a creative outlet and he scores goals. Last season in the Bundesliga, he scored 17 goals and created 16 goals himself, which shows how capable he is as a player. For England, we haven't seen that as much. He's had a couple of goals and maybe a couple of assists as well. But we need to see more from Jadon Sancho. He's supposed to be the next big talent, and people already rate him as high as Raheem Sterling. So in order for us to finally see that in an England shirt, we need him to start scoring. Of course, I can't do a team to watch over the international break, as I will be watching England because I'm English. However, I will be doing a score prediction, which you can see on screen now. The first game, I have chosen the result of 2-1 to England. I think England versus Wales is always quite close. Wales have got a lot better in recent times, and England will be without Raheem Sterling and potentially Harry Kane, as I said earlier. And if Wales perform like we know they're able to, they can put up a good fight against England. So I think 2-1 is a fair shout for this game. Next up is the game against Belgium. Belgium really have a lot of talent in their squad. The likes of Eden Hazard, Axel Witsel, Dries Mertens, the list goes on. There is a lot of talent across all positions on the pitch. I have gone with a 1-1 draw. The reason I have gone with that is because I think both teams are capable of scoring goals, and both teams on their day are capable of defending really well. I think England are probably a bit weaker defensively, and are probably a bit weaker attacking wise as well with Raheem Sterling out. However, Eden Hazard has not made a bright start to his Real Madrid career, and he is often a vital player to Belgium. Of course, they've still got Romelu Lukaku, who's been firing goals left and right for Inter Milan, and he could play a vital role in this game as he knows how most of these English players play as well, which could be really important for it. However, I've gone with a 1-1 draw because I think both teams' positives and negatives will balance each other out, and I think we'll end up with a 1-1 draw. The final game is England versus Denmark. All three of these games are weirdly enough at home, which obviously makes it a lot better for the likes of Gareth Southgate and his squad because they don't have to travel across Europe to different games. They can just stay in England, which is fantastic for them. They don't have any jet lag or any issues like that. The final game against Denmark, I can see England really going for this game. Having drawn with them last time out, I think Gareth Southgate will want to prove to everyone in England that their team is much better than Denmark. I think it will be a 2-0 win in this game. I don't think we'll overpower Denmark by too much, as they proved last time. They are a more than capable squad. However, I think England will have the edge, and if we can get our attacking trio or duo or however formation we play, if we can get our attacking players firing, I really think we could do some damage in this upcoming Nations League and international break. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and comment down below your score predictions for the international break. Thank you for watching.